Sorry for the clickbait title, but they wanted to demolish this house. They tossed out everything that was in there, and well, I'm gonna show you a few pictures, but this is what I snagged. Yeah, this is the case for this machine. I've already stripped it naked. So I decided to make a video, although I've already started to fix it. What did I do? Well, I recapped the power supply. As you can see, I didn't recap it entirely. I just changed out the ones that were bad or just very near failing. And I left many of the old caps in because they measured fine. Then I turned it on. I checked the power supply. I removed the keyboard to check the power supply. Here's the voltage regulator. I think it outputs minus 12 volts or something. And there was no AC ripple at all on the output. So no AC ripple means it's regulating. So I turned it on. Yeah, it takes a little. And the keys all stick. Many of them. I noticed that only the one key, the 5 key and the 7 key was working, and the 0 key. So I was getting my camera to snap a photo when all the 7s, let me hit a 7, you can see a 5 appeared, all the 7s turned into 5s. Okay, well, let's clear that. And just enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That should be a 5. Okay, 7. It didn't accept it. I didn't push it hard enough. 8, 9, 0. Okay, that's gonna be fun because one of those NIXIES will always stay off for like minutes. And it's completely random which one. Last time it was this one. Okay, you can see there's 1. There should be a 1 there. Let's shift it again. Let's shift the 1 over. Yeah, 1. That should be a 2, but it's a 0. 1. That should be a 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're missing the 2-bit. And what's really cool is this thing is actually calculating, right? By the way, this the operand register, which is currently selected. It's also the only one where the light bulb isn't working. Yep. So I found out how to operate this. So I add 1 plus 3, which is also 1. Now I hit plus again because it goes to the result register. That last time it didn't do that. Hey, look, all the lights are now on, and you can see that it added 1 plus 1 equals 4. But you saw that the second one I pushed the 3 button, so it added a 1 and a 3, but it isn't able to display a 3 because the 2-bit is bad. But we know this thing is still calculating correctly. I'm not 100% sure because I didn't do anything but 1-digit addition. But let's go back here again, reset the thing, and just do a roll. Let's roll this through the entire thing, just so you can see that. Yeah, and it comes around. And by the way, it does weird things like it starts blanking numbers if you go on for too long. I don't know if that's the intended behavior. Oh wait, it's not doing it anymore. Also, it did switch automatically to the result register when I hit the plus key the second time, which it didn't do before. So maybe some parts start working better and others start working worse. Like, yeah, the 2-bit literally died while it was testing this thing. If I had a schematic, I would know exactly which transistor it is. Well, at least I would know. Maybe there's like 3 or so to check. Anyway, this part's getting long. Yeah. Okay, I fixed the keys. Make sure they make contact. Some of the debounce capacitors were also very leaky, so I replaced a few of those. Well, actually, I replaced more keyboards in the debounce circuitry than in the power supply. By the way, another cool thing is, it doesn't use, it doesn't have a high voltage winding on the transformer for the NIXIES. Instead, it has a switch mode power supply built in for that. So, we know the 2-bit has died. And I checked where the cables went. There are no schematics for this thing. So, I'm checking the first card, and it's, you know, these standoffs, they're all red. Well, the rest of the machine has standoffs that are either yellow or blue. And there are very few different types of transistors used. Which is good, because if you get the same stuff over and over again, thanks for focusing, it's pretty easy to test these with the testaphone. Now if you Google this thing, it's called Conti Test now, but I freaking love this thing, because now how do I do it? I can't hold the camera and take measurements, but let me just set you on the table. You see there's a rail going through all of these. So, notice they sound all a little different, but it's germanium. They haven't perfected it yet. Okay, so now let's swap it around and see how that sounds. Well, alright, let's start with the first one. Okay. That's a short circuit sound, just to recalibrate myself. And there we go. Yep, these all sound reasonably high. And this one is off. This one's way off. So I can tell these are all pretty. Yeah, they sound like they're far apart, and they are, but they're all in the same ballpark. This one is out of the town. That's why I put the sticker on. So yeah, this thing. By the way, I've tested all of these. These all sound exactly the same. So that guy is no good. Okay. So I might have struck gold. I mean, sure, this board is double-sided. There is not a single double-sided board inside this machine. I've checked. Sure, there are 6 transistors here and 2 here, making 8. But see these? I mean, this is all different to that. But yeah, the similarities are there. The amount of diodes implies this looks like a decoder. The fact that there's only one type of transistor, although these are like 3 types of transistors, actually. Well, but look at that. Somebody reverse engineered that. Look at that. Cathode for 0, cathode for 1 to 9. Minus 12 plus 5, or whatever. 1, 2, 4, 8. And from the back side, it really does kind of look like these all go to different parts. of these 8, that's got to be the 2 here, which goes here, and peekaboo, 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 look where it goes. This is our missing bit. If that's the same card, this goes right here into the transistor that my tester says it's bad. You know, I might have gotten insanely lucky. Should I push my luck even further? I've checked what transistor these are. They're 2N394s, even though the other machine uses 2N1305s. They don't differ much. Yeah, 0.2 amps, 20 volts, 0.3 amps, 25 volts. So that thing is that thing is really wimpy, and that thing is wimpy. And it also looks, you know, if these are driven digitally, I could replace them with BC557 or something. I could try to push my luck, but you know what? At the Arcade Museum, we have a few period correct replacement parts. I wouldn't be surprised if they have something that fits perfectly. Okay, I got me a few spares. That's the original. I already removed the shroud, or standoff, or whatever you might call it. That's a silicon 22N2905. Thanks for focusing. Okay, there we go. That's a silicon transistor. Here I got an ACY17 and I've got an ACY39. I also had a perfectly matching germanium transistor I can't find anymore. That's 2N4033. That's a silicon, and I'm pretty sure at least 2N2219, which was that a silicon? Oh, damn it. Okay, but let's check this thing. If the schematic is correct, if the datasheet is correct, it's emitter base collector. So let's test this thing. Okay, I'm pinching. What is that? The collector. Connect the plus rail to the emitter, and I'm just touching the base with my finger, and this thing works. It kind of sort of came working again. When I tested it last time, it didn't do anything. It was completely not doing anything. And here we have the ACY17, which unfortunately leaks like hell. Let's try the ACY39. Looks like I have to test a silicon transistor in a germanium setup. Okay, it rather looks like we have more decoding issues, because the 0 and the 8 digit are lit at the same time. Look who decided to show up. That means, oh yeah. They all work now. All the light bulbs work. So that too bounced. The key bounced. Well, I kind of sort of mechanically bounced the key. So yeah, it's correct that there's two twos. That's oh wait, look at that. Hey, it sorted itself out. Look at that. But that's probably another transistor failing in the logic. But yeah, this is exactly what I entered. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. That's what I entered. So cool. It's working now. And looks like another transistor's failing. By the way, I use this leaky ACY17 now. I mean, this display is multiplexed after all, so it has to go through all those digits in quick succession. at a rate of, yeah, I guess 30 kilohertz or something. But these transistors are said to be good for a megahertz, so that tube is still not coming on. When I turn it off and on, and there will be another tube that won't work. But that sucks. I just tried, and I entered 700 and subtracted 350, and that's what I'm getting. I mean, wow, that minus sign is bright. But incorrect. Oh look, I reset it and it's still, now I have to reset it again. Also I tried multiplying 2 by 2 and I'm getting 4, but 2 by 2 equals nothing. It has a 2 in that register now, so let's try again. Now there was an 8. Oh wait, now 12, 20, 20 again, 28, 32, 32 again, should be 36 probably, no, nothing, nothing again, 8, 12, 12 again, 20, 12, there should be 16. So there is still something wrong. Well, that's fun. And that stupid tube ain't coming on. Okay, now we got two new problems. The 5 tube doesn't turn on anymore. And as we can now see, the 4-bit is bad now. Yeah. Great. Had to be expected. More stuff that fails along the way. Sometimes it just goes ploop and the stuff turns on. Like the 8 and the 9 being on at the same time. It didn't do that this time I powered it up. And the last time I powered it up, it did it for like a second before it went ploop. And then I saw 7s turn into 5s. Well, actually no. 7s were 5 from right from the beginning, but ploop, they turned into a 7. So I tried, I added 5 plus 3 and showed 1 plus 3, and the result register was 8. So again, it's probably this board. And what does the testophone say? Spoiler alert, I already checked it, that's why I'm recording, because it's basically the same again. So, and now the offending bit. Yeah, these two are the offending bit, but that's the buffer, and that's the inverter. Oh, anything? Right. Yeah, that thing's bad. It sounds like this one's ready to let go too. Yeah. So the 8th digit is probably gonna fail next. I'm gonna leave it in for now. Because I only got 3 pretty much known compatible transistors left. I cheated. I put in a silicon transistor and now it works. The reason why the 0 and the 8 segment was lit all the time is I have no clue, but it sorted itself out and now the machine doesn't do that anymore. But this is now working with a silicon transistor. Let's shift it some more just to... Yeah, these should have come on by now. I know this one doesn't light up anymore. It's probably a bad strobe transistor. Oh, hey, look now, this thing... Well, we're still waiting for that one, but yeah. Okay, there was nothing wrong with that board. And there's nothing wrong with that board. Going back to the second board in where I has all these 11 transistors, and the first one was 100% off. Also, this germanium diode, they sound all exactly the same. All the diodes I had so far sound exactly the same. They all sound like this. They all sound like this, but that one... Also notice how the frequency increases if I leave it on a little. Yep. That's probably still dioding, but it's not good at it. So, that had no fault. I was today years old when I found you could do this. It's not supposed to unfold that side. It's supposed to unfold this side. So, that's kind of weird. This is the cathode driver. And the anodes are, well, I've traced them to this board. You can see all these anode wires here from the NIXIES. The cathodes are all hooked up to this board, which we fixed twice. And here it is. So that's board number 1, 2, 3, I guess. But it's lacking all the others. It's like there's only two. There's only. It looks like there's only 2 or maybe 4 cathodes, anodes on this thing. But yeah. Now at least I have located the card. Oops, I removed the wrong card. This is the faulty one. There are 4 identical cards. And we do the same game with the transistor again. We know that this pin is bad because that's the pin that, yeah, I traced the wire. And let's do our good old testaphone bloop-de-blue again. I start with a bad transistor. That's a good transistor. And reverse. That's how a good one's supposed to sound. Let's do it with the other board. And here... Okay, here these are pretty close. This is supposed to sound like that. It isn't. This transistor is bad. Case closed. And here I hit a major roadblock because none of these transistors appear to exist. The only mention is, you guessed it, that website with that other IME 84. And this doesn't even mention those. It mentioned these. It's a 6055. It mentions these, a 6056. But it does not mention these. 6057. So what can I do now? I could put one of the working ones in a curve tracer and then just crank it until it pops to get the characteristics. Yeah, great idea. We got 2 miracles in one picture. The 5 came back on, and no, I did not swap but now the 9 is out. Maybe I did swap the cards. But that's what it's looking. It's set to 50 volts per division, so that's 100 volts. This doesn't look too great. So maybe I have swapped it with a bad one. I have swapped the cards, yeah. Can only be one of these. Now look at that. Look at that. I bet that's the 9 digit. See how it's like half the voltage? Almost half the voltage. It's like 60 volts instead of... Yeah. But still, these things are unobtainium. Well, it's working now. It was... The number 9 digit wasn't working. And the signal on the scope, I can go back to not syncing, so it's not syncing now. But it looks the same as, well, it even looks better than that. That one looks a bit tired. And this one looks better. Yeah, whatever. Ah, come on. Come on. I know you can do it. There we go. It just takes a while to strike. And so does this. And so does that. And that's the last one. There's no, yep, it's gone because there's no more, there isn't any neon in here. Okay.